Okay, here I am running again. As you can see, you know, I'm idling at about 15 inches of vacuum. You can see it kind of jumping around. So you can kind of, if you have a mechanical gauge like this, you can use this to look at and kind of compare it maybe to the map settings in the computer to see what you're kind of comfortable with. If you're used to looking at one of these, and kind of see what your motor's doing and make changes that way. So when you're back in here in the software, so if you go up here to this USB link, this is what, and click Get from ECU. This now syncs you up with the computer. And you can see right here I'm getting all my data from this particular view. So this is what actually is coming in from the ECU. You can hit this gauge panel now. And I got you know, 180 degrees on the coolant temp and all these other various settings. And then down there is my target air to fuel ratio, what the actual air to fuel ratio is, the coolant enrichment, there's my ignition timing, estimated volumetric efficiency. You can see it's in closed loop, and it's moving around a little bit. Let's see, air to fuel ratio, it's taking away some fuel, various things. So now, say you want to make some changes to the base fuel map or the ignition map while the vehicle's running. You kind of want to see what's the thing like. So maybe I go to the air fuel ratio. You can see this dot now. This is actually where the computer is at that particular manifold pressure and RPM. And as you can see, as I hit the rev, now the thing moves up and back down. So it's the same thing as if you're driving, you know, if you're on some lonely road or empty parking lot, you want to try and tune this a little better, where you got to maybe look at the computer a little bit. You can hit the gas and kind of watch that and maybe make some changes to these individual numbers with the control arrows, and kind of figure out what your vehicle likes. And it's the same thing with the ignition one. So right in here you can see where it sits, and you know, I can drag and highlight a bunch of these areas, and then I can even hold control and go right arrow over, and you can see I'm making timing adjustments, and I can listen to the motor as I make these adjustments. These are happening in real time. You can kind of figure out what the motor likes. So maybe it likes a little less timing, maybe it wants more timing. So you can kind of just play around with that. And same thing with the fuel. So those two kind of are the two ways to kind of be able to tune this thing while you're live. And it's the same with any of these other ones. So if I go here and I go acceleration enrichment, you can see this is the live reading from the TPS. So if I wanted to figure out, well, how much more fuel do I want at a particular TPS setting, I could be watching that as I accelerate and maybe kind of listening to the motor. And it's just the same for all these graphs. I mean, here's the base fuel map. You can see it's right in there. And pretty easy to use. Let me know if you have any questions.